Hey there, Clashers, and thanks for stopping by Clash of Clans gameplay. I'm Brian, bringing to you another tournament war recap. So we ended up losing, as you saw in the last war, and got placed in the second tier bracket. And the hope is that we get to play the winner of the first tier bracket, but we got to win out to do that. So as part of the second tier bracket, our first matchup was against CC Family. And coming down to the last 47 minutes here, you can see that we were able to win this war. But we'll jump into a few war recap replays here. First from the enemy, which was T to Green 72 against our number 29, which was BK. And T2's coming in here with a little bit of a different attack that I really like and I think has some promise here. And it's basically 1 golem plus 1 golem in the CC, 5 wizards, 10 witches, 10 hogs, 8 earthquake spells, and 1 poison spell. So he drops his earthquake spells to open up the core as well as the outer portion. Doesn't need any jump spells or wall breakers. Then drops in his golems to go ahead and tank, witches in behind, and pretty much just uses the wide open space that those quake spells did to be able to get the majority of his troops in the core. He's got a few witches and some archers going around the outside. I don't know, he seemed to hit his queen cloak pretty early there. I'm not sure if he kind of felt that was needed. It was a little bit strange he did that, so I'm not sure what goes there. But overall, I think it was quite interesting to see how that went in, because then once you've got the witches spawning all these skeletons, they're taking all the heat from the defenses, as well as the golems taking the heat and basically leaving the heroes up and running and the wizards around to clean. And then he's got those 10 hogs that he brought to be able to use as a back end for cleanup, and it was, pretty impressive overall. And to see how this attack went down here, as it's coming down here, you're able to see he's basically still got his queen almost at full health. At some point here, he's going to have to obviously cloak her, but overall, he may not even need to cloak her. So I mean, it's pretty impressive going around. I haven't seen this attack in the wars that we've been having in 49er War Clan too much, so it's always nice when you see a little bit of a different approach, and that's why doing little wars like this that are a bit outside of our clan and something new and unique is kind of always interesting, as it gives you ideas and different types of attacks that can be done. So I think overall a pretty impressive attack, and then with his queen having full health and a couple witches left. So good job by T2 on that one. So now we'll go ahead, and I've got 4 replays to show you here from our side here, and the first one's going to go ahead and be Luke going in on an attack on number 29, T2 Green, so almost a revenge there. So Luke's going in with 1 plus 1 golem, 7 wizards, 4 wall breakers, 8 valkyries, 17 hogs, 4 quake spells, 2 heal spells, and 1 poison spell. This would be what I would refer to as traditionally just a hybrid attack, utilizing the hogs and the valks. So a different mix to it. The twist again here is the use of the earthquake spell. So again, another interesting attack strategy being used, to where he's utilizing those quakes to open up a bunch of different compartments there. I think he's got, let's see, he's opened on 1, 2, 3, 4 different compartments there. He's got his initial golems being dropped in to go ahead and tank while he can clean up those outside structures as well as within those first 2 compartments. Gets the poison spell dropped on the CC there, and then has his Valkyries in, which is always a little scary part because loons can just destroy the Valkyries, and I think he did lose a couple of them there. But as he goes on from there, drops the heal spell to get them back up, starts to get some of the defenses firing on his troops in the core, and then can funnel in his back end hogs. And then as things start to roll around through the base, then you start to see it's like, wow, it's all of a sudden he doesn't have too much left to go through. And he still has another heal spell, which he drops right there, and that keeps him to kind of clear through that. So again, another solid attack going through here. So as he kind of funnels around here, he's got both of his heroes at full health, and he's still got the cloak left on his queen. Navigating those giant bombs is always a little interesting, but I think he does that pretty well at that point. And just so happens, I think this was his second attack, so he kind of knew the portion of the base to come in with. And he didn't have to worry about there being bombs at that point. That's the benefit, because I think if you go through and you try to do this at the first attack, you might have chose a different side, and and probably would have ran into an issue with big bombs there. So it's always good to take a look at the replays after a first attack and kind of see how you can tweak that or maybe alter what the first player did and go from there. So as kind of winds up here, Luke Skywalker in the first round of the war, I think he had a 3-star that we did a recap of as well. So it was good attack by Luke again. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the next one here, which is an attack by Real Less. So he's coming in with 2 golems, 10 wizards, 3 wall breakers, 2 witches, 22 hogs plus an additional 7 hogs in the CC, a jump spell, a rage spell, heal, and poison. So he's got his golems down and basically clearing out all the outside structures and being able to kind of funnel troops into the core from there, utilizing the jump spell, of course. He's got that CC sprung. It's interesting. Sometimes it can be kind of iffy when that CC kind of springs to your troops that are away from where your queen can help take them down. So you're kind of relying on any of the wizards that you have here, and that obviously kind of fails, to be honest. So he's got that difficult aspect there, and there's not too much left, and then all of a sudden the dragon's able to turn. But fortunately from that standpoint, he's heavily slowed down by the poison spell, and then you've got the dragon going to chase around the hogs. So it was, I think, more of just an overpowering attack and just trying to show some of the 3 stars here. This one was, the double bomb was kind of a killer there as well. But again, he's got a couple witches in there, which I think is really kind of helpful to distracting some of the defenses, so he continues to have troops that go around. And then that also kind of makes a difference a lot of times on the dragon, causing the dragon to stop and go at times. So when you get those troops that are there, the dragon's targeting, and then they die, they just stop and go. And a lot of times that little bit of delay, being such a slow troop, can cause some confusion. So something I think is important to consider when you look at some of these where you're going to go up against dragons in the CC, is consider taking a look at some of those troops, whether it be witches that you want to have go in, or even having a fair amount of the barbarians and them getting spawned by the king at the appropriate time. That can cause some of the slowdown effect of the CC at times. So it can be useful in taking the CC out, or at least keeping them off some of your main troops that you're looking to clear out the base. So as we kind of speed up here, you see Aless goes down and takes this base out. Really more of just an overpowering attack. Probably not the best replay to show, but we move on. So we'll go ahead and jump into another attack here, which is by KYR, attacking number 27, so his mirror on the opposite side. KYR is going in with 2 golem plus a golem in the CC, 10 wizards, 2 giants, 22 hogs, 4 quake spells, 2 heal spells. So another use of the quake spells here by KYR. Go ahead and drop in quakes in the core to create that central compartment. Basically open up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different compartments there. So again, it's helpful for once you've got your troops on the outside that are clearing the structures and they break through that first wall, then they've got a wide spread for which they're able to funnel into. So it kind of springs the Lava Hound into the CC there, but fortunately you got the wizards jumping on that Lava Hound while it targets the golem, so that makes it pretty easy to take them down. Good patience here by KYR to make sure that he doesn't drop the poison spell on the hounds. Sometimes you see that, and that's obviously not an effective way to go about it. And especially when you're coming with hog attacks, I suggest not dropping the poison spell at all on the CC if you can get away with it. Sometimes that can be trouble and you may have to kind of find yourself, but it's always better if you can utilize a poison spell really on the back end to be able to take off any of the skeletons that might be chasing your hogs around, as you'll typically have that. But in this case here, KYR didn't even worry about that, so he was able to kind of funnel through and get through the majority of the base, just utilizing his troops, and kind of decided he didn't need the poison spell, so save that one for another attack. So he's kind of going through here, just a couple hogs left, and then hogs end up helping there and just falling at the end, but he's still got those giants that he was holding back on, so the giants kind of help to distract the troops momentarily, and then the queen's going to end up going in and finishing out that defense and kind of leaving the remaining queen and king that are up that can go ahead and clear the rest of the bases. So go ahead and speed this up here and kind of finish this out, but another good 3-star by KYR. And so then we'll kind of jump into the last attack that we're going to show here, which is the lone Town Hall 10 3-star, which was by Red Soviet against their number 24. So our number 3 against their number 24. And it's the dreaded box base that I tell you guys never to use. So just make sure that you continue to watch these 3-star replays and don't use this base wherever you can, because I don't think it's going to help you very much. So he drops the 2 hogs that he had going in first to go ahead and spring the CC, then drops the poison spell on him. And as the poison spell, since the last update ramps up, it's able to take down those loons relatively quickly, and then it even takes down a significant amount of the dragon. So the rest of Red Soviet's army is 5 golems plus a golem in the CC, 16 wizards, 4 jump spells, a freeze spell, and basically what Soviet's doing here is coming in for the multiple entry points. So he's got 6 golems in total. So by having 4 jump spells, he can use 3 jump spells on the exterior, which is dropping 2 golems on each jump, and then the last jump spell for the core. So he interestingly has a healer that he brings in on the back end. Once all the troops have kind of cleared, he drops that lone healer to kind of go through and heal the queen, which worked at least for a second, until all of a sudden there's other troops that are requiring more heal, and then the healer goes into that. But all in all, I don't know if that helped the raid or hurt the raid. It's really kind of tough to tell. But the benefit that Red Soviet has here is he's got a couple golems that went to the core, and then he's got golems that went around the side. And as you guys have heard me before, that's what I've always said is key on this raid. If you can get just a few troops going towards the center and the rest of them going around the core, from a golem standpoint, that makes it pretty easy to go ahead and get the 3-star on this. So he's able to kind of use a bit of an overpowering attack, which is great. But all in all, I think this is a great raid by Soviet here as he goes through. He's got his golems remaining. They're just going ahead and tanking for his queen. And he had 1 lone expo, which could have been a problem, to be honest, if he didn't have the healer, in looking at it now. So that healer, I think, ends up helping him to make sure that he gets that last expo down. And then he can go ahead and save his queen, use the cloak, and then all of a sudden he's good to go. Because I think if that golem didn't take out that expo in the center, might have been kind of dicey as to whether he could have taken it out or not. So it was actually probably, in hindsight, really good planning. So he finishes up there with a nice 3-star. So it was, again, a great war here. So this one we were able to control a little bit better. And so that's going to move us on to the next rematch that's going to happen within the Tier 2 bracket. And hopefully we can get through that and start to look at an opportunity to move ahead. So until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and clash on.